What if the key to attracting real love isn't found in others, but deep within yourself? In this video, we explore 6 powerful psychological secrets inspired by Carl Jung that reveal how self-awareness can transform your relationships and naturally attract the right person into your life. These timeless insights offer a fresh, empowering perspective on how love truly works. You'll discover how understanding your emotional patterns, expressing authenticity, and overcoming hidden blocks can open the path to lasting connection. If you're ready to attract meaningful love, make sure to subscribe to the channel, activate the bell for notifications, and leave a like. Comment below with "Love begins within me" and tell us where you're watching from. We'd love to know. Number 1. Know thy inner compass. Have you ever asked yourself why certain people seem to repeat the same love stories over and over again? Maybe you've noticed a pattern in your own relationships, like falling for the same kind of person or ending up hurt in similar ways. These patterns aren't just coincidences. They're clues pointing to what's going on beneath the surface of your daily thoughts. And that's where your inner compass begins to show its power. Your inner compass is that silent guide shaping how you connect with others, even before you speak a word. It's formed from your emotions, your past experiences, and your understanding of who you are. If you've ever felt confused about why love feels difficult or unclear, this video is here to show you that the answers aren't outside. You already carry them within. But first, you need to recognize what your compass is truly pointing toward. Imagine trying to find your way through a city with a broken map. That's what it's like to seek love without understanding your inner compass. You may walk in circles, chase excitement that fades, or settle for something that feels safe but not fulfilling. Recognizing your emotional needs and values is the first step toward clarity. And clarity is what turns chaos into connection. You don't need to have all the answers right away. The key is to start observing what consistently draws your attention in relationships. What makes you feel alive? What leaves you feeling empty? These questions are not just about romance, they're about emotional truth. Learning to hear that truth gives your compass the direction it needs. Think back to the last time you were drawn to someone. What was it about them? Was it their confidence, their kindness, or maybe the way they made you feel seen? Those reactions come from a place inside you. This place holds your deepest emotional values. Knowing what you value helps you stop chasing illusions and start choosing love with intention. Sometimes we attract what's familiar rather than what's right. You might be choosing based on unresolved feelings from the past, and that's okay. Everyone does it until they learn to recognize the signals. Becoming aware of those signals doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're learning. And that awareness is what turns old patterns into new beginnings. If you've ever felt lost in love, unsure if you're on the right path, it's not because you're doing something wrong. It's because your compass is asking to be recalibrated. That process begins with emotional honesty. Can you admit when you're afraid of being vulnerable? Can you see when you're settling out of fear instead of love? The good news is that your emotional compass is always working. It just needs your attention. When you slow down and reflect, you begin to notice what truly feels aligned. That's when attraction becomes magnetic, not because you're trying harder, but because you're being real. Authenticity sends out a frequency that naturally calls in those who are meant to walk with you. To get in touch with this compass, start by naming your emotional needs. Maybe you need to feel safe. Maybe you crave deep conversation. Maybe you want someone who values growth. These aren't just wishes, they're your emotional GPS. When you know them, you can spot love that feels nourishing instead of draining. What about your values? What truly matters to you in a relationship? Trust, kindness, freedom, shared vision, whatever it is, knowing these core principles helps filter out what doesn't serve you. Think of it like tuning a radio. You start hearing the signal clearly without all the noise. Have you noticed how people sometimes confuse attraction with alignment? You might feel drawn to someone who excites you, but doesn't align with your deeper values. That spark can feel strong, but if the foundation isn't right, it often fades fast. Your inner compass helps you tell the difference between temporary intensity and lasting connection. This doesn't mean you have to analyze every relationship. It just means you bring awareness to your choices. When you feel uneasy with someone, don't ignore it. Ask yourself, what is my compass telling me? That quiet voice is your guide, not your enemy. It's trying to protect your emotional space. One powerful tool to understand your compass is reflection. After an interaction, ask yourself, did I feel heard? Did I feel respected? Did I feel like I could be myself? If the answer is no, that's valuable information. It doesn't mean the other person is wrong. It just means they may not be aligned with your true path. Another way to connect with your compass is through your emotional patterns. Do you shut down when things get hard? Do you overextend to gain approval? These habits are important to notice. They're not signs of weakness. They're signals from your inner world. When you understand them, you begin to make choices from awareness instead of reaction. Even your body responds to emotional alignment. Have you ever felt tension when someone crossed a boundary, even if you didn't say anything? Or a sense of peace when you're with someone who understands you without needing words? That's your compass in action. It speaks through sensations, emotions, and energy. You don't need to fix yourself to attract love. You just need to start listening. What if your emotions were not problems but messengers? What if your doubts and desires were pointing you toward healing? That shift in perception is where transformation begins. And with transformation comes new possibility. Let's not forget the role of clarity. When you understand your compass, you stop wasting energy on guessing. You can express what you want without fear. You can walk away from what doesn't align, not with regret but with confidence. This kind of self-trust is deeply attractive. It shows others that you know your worth. People often look for signs in the other person. Do they love me? Will they stay? Are they the one? But the deeper question is, do I feel aligned when I'm with them? Your inner compass helps you answer that question. It keeps you grounded, even when emotions run high. That grounding is what builds real connection. Think of someone in your life who makes you feel safe and energized. That's alignment. Now think of someone who drains you, even if they care about you. That's misalignment. When you learn to read those emotional cues, you begin choosing love that lifts you instead of depleting you. This clarity also brings peace. You stop chasing people who aren't right for you. You stop trying to convince someone to see your worth. Instead, you become the kind of person who attracts love simply by being centered. That's not magic. That's the result of knowing yourself. Your inner compass also helps in setting boundaries. When you know what feels right and what doesn't, it becomes easier to say no to situations that don't honor your values. Boundaries aren't walls. They're signs that guide healthy connection. They help love grow where it's respected. So ask yourself today, what direction is your compass pointing? Are you listening to it or ignoring it? Are your relationships based on your true self or a version of you trying to please others? These are not easy questions, but they're necessary. And in the asking, you start to find your way. This self-discovery isn't about perfection. It's about progress. Every time you choose awareness over habit, you shift your path toward deeper love. It's in the small moments of clarity that big change begins. And the more you tune in, the more you attract those who are aligned with your heart. As you become more aware of your compass, something beautiful happens. You begin to trust it. And when you trust it, you move through love with more confidence and less fear. That trust opens new doors, ones you didn't know were waiting. And that brings us to a deeper layer of attraction. How being true to yourself not only brings clarity but also makes you deeply magnetic to the right kind of love. Number 2, the magnetic self. How authenticity creates connection. Have you ever wondered why some people effortlessly attract love while others seem to struggle despite trying everything? The answer often lies in one powerful truth: authenticity. When you show up as the real you, without masks, without pretending, you create a magnetic presence that draws others in naturally. This part of the video is about understanding how being true to yourself is the strongest signal you can send to the world. You don't need to be perfect to be loved. You just need to be real. Many people spend so much energy trying to be what they think others want that they forget who they are. They become experts at people-pleasing, but they lose touch with their own voice. When that happens, connection becomes fragile. It's hard to feel seen when you're hiding. Think about the last time you felt deeply connected to someone. Was it because they had everything figured out? Or was it because they were open, honest, and genuine? Chances are their authenticity made you feel safe. That's the power of the magnetic self. It invites others to do the same. It says, I'm showing up as I am and you're welcome to do the same. Authenticity doesn't mean sharing everything with everyone. It means aligning what you say, do, and feel. It means honoring your own truth even when it's uncomfortable. When you do that, people can trust you, not just because of your words, but because of your energy. There's nothing more attractive than someone who is grounded in who they are. You've probably heard someone say, just be yourself. But what does that really mean? It means knowing your values, expressing your needs clearly, and letting go of the need to impress. It means trusting that the right people will respond to the real you, and if they don't, that's okay. Love doesn't come from convincing someone. It comes from connecting deeply with those who resonate with your truth. Let's talk about vulnerability. Being authentic means being willing to show your imperfections. That doesn't make you weak, it makes you human. When you say, I'm nervous or I don't have all the answers, you're allowing real connection to happen. People aren't drawn to perfection. They're drawn to presence, to honesty, to warmth. Have you ever held back your opinion to avoid conflict? Or laughed at something you didn't find funny just to fit in? These moments may seem small, but they chip away at your sense of self. When you deny your truth, even in tiny ways, you move further from connection. The magnetic self doesn't fake agreement. It speaks with kindness and clarity. Authenticity also means accepting your emotions without shame. If you're sad, let it be. If you're excited, show it. Your feelings are not flaws, they're signals. When you embrace them, you become more in tune with your own needs. And when you're in tune with yourself, you attract others who are emotionally present too. There's something deeply attractive about someone who knows who they are and isn't afraid to show it. That kind of confidence isn't loud, it's steady. It says, I know my worth and I don't need to perform to be loved. When you embody this mindset, you become a mirror. You reflect back permission for others to be real too. Now think of how this applies in relationships. When you're authentic, your partner knows what to expect. There's no guessing, no games. You create a space of trust and safety. That doesn't mean everything is perfect, but it means both people can grow without fear of rejection for being themselves. This kind of honesty makes communication easier. Instead of hiding your needs, you express them clearly. Instead of holding back your feelings, you share them with care. And when you make a mistake, you take responsibility. That level of openness strengthens connection. It builds love on a solid foundation. Authenticity is also about boundaries. When you respect your limits, others learn to respect them too. You're not being difficult, you're being clear. And clarity is one of the most loving things you can offer in a relationship. It keeps resentment from building and helps love flourish in a space of mutual respect. Have you noticed how much energy it takes to pretend? Keeping up an image, managing others' opinions, avoiding truth, it's exhausting. And over time, it creates distance. The magnetic self doesn't chase approval. It trusts that being real is enough. And that's when love flows, when you stop trying and start being. Think about this in dating. When you're authentic, you filter out the wrong matches early. You don't waste time trying to fit into someone else's mold. Instead, you attract people who are aligned with your true nature. This doesn't just make love more likely, it makes it more fulfilling. The truth is, not everyone will like the real you, but that's not a problem, it's a blessing. When someone walks away because of your authenticity, they're making space for someone who will appreciate your truth. Love doesn't require shrinking, it requires showing up. Authenticity also means being honest with yourself. If you feel uncomfortable, name it. If something doesn't feel right, listen to that. The magnetic self trusts intuition. It doesn't push away discomfort just to keep peace. It faces the truth with compassion and courage. You might be wondering, what if I've been hiding my real self for years? Is it too late to change? The answer is no. It's never too late to return to yourself. You can start by making small, honest choices. Speak your truth in one conversation. Say no when you mean no. Give yourself permission to be real, even if it feels scary at first. As you practice authenticity, you'll notice something shift. You'll feel lighter, more alive. Relationships will begin to feel easier. That doesn't mean you'll avoid conflict. It means you'll face it with honesty and respect. That's what makes love last, not perfection, but presence. And if you ever feel unsure, remember this. The people who are meant for you will never ask you to hide who you are. They will celebrate your authenticity. They will grow with you, They will love you not in spite of your truth, but because of it. So take a moment to ask yourself, am I being real in my relationships? Am I speaking from my heart or from a place of fear? These questions don't need perfect answers. They just need your honesty. And that honesty will guide you toward the connection you truly desire. As you keep stepping into your authentic self, you'll not only attract better relationships, you'll also feel more peace within. Because love at its core is not about becoming someone else. It's about becoming more of who you already are. That truth leads us to the deeper work of healing the inner blocks that stand in love's way. Number 3. Transforming inner blocks to love. Have you ever felt like something invisible is holding you back from experiencing the love you truly want? You meet someone wonderful, things go well for a while, and then suddenly, it falls apart. Or maybe you find yourself hesitating, avoiding closeness, or doubting that love is even possible for you. These moments aren't about bad luck or a broken heart, they're signs of inner blocks. And understanding those blocks can change everything. Inner blocks are the emotional walls we build, often without realizing it. They come from past hurts, disappointments, or fears. They're the voice that says, I'm not enough, or I don't deserve this. And even if you want love deeply, those quiet beliefs can push it away. The good news is you're not stuck. These blocks can be transformed step by step. One of the most common blocks is fear of vulnerability. Letting someone see the real you can feel risky. What if they judge you? What if they leave? But hiding behind emotional armor keeps love at a distance. True connection only happens when you're willing to be seen. And yes, that takes courage, but it also builds trust and closeness like nothing else. Another block comes from past pain. Maybe you were hurt in a relationship and never fully healed. Maybe someone betrayed your trust. Those wounds can create protective behaviors, like shutting down, pulling away, or not believing in love anymore. It's natural to want to protect yourself, but when the walls stay up too long, they also keep out the good. So how do you begin to release these blocks? It starts with awareness. Can you name the beliefs that hold you back? Do you fear abandonment, rejection, or being unlovable? These fears don't define you, but they do need your attention. When you bring them into the light, they begin to lose their power. It helps to remember, every block was formed for a reason. Maybe it protected you at one point. Maybe it helped you survive emotional pain. There's no shame in that, but what protected you yesterday might be limiting you today. Healing means honoring those defenses while gently choosing something new. One powerful way to transform blocks is through compassion. Can you speak to yourself with kindness? Instead of judging your fears, try listening to them. What are they trying to tell you? Often behind a fear is a part of you that wants love and safety. When you meet that part with understanding, healing begins. Sometimes we also carry limiting beliefs from others, parents, past partners, even society. Maybe you were told you had to earn love, or that being emotional is weakness. These messages can become mental habits, shaping how you see yourself. But you can question them. You can say, is this really true for me? Daily reflection helps. Take time to notice when a block shows up. Maybe you hesitate to text someone first. Maybe you shut down during conflict. Instead of reacting automatically, pause and ask, what am I protecting? What do I need right now? These small questions create space for new choices. And don't underestimate the power of self-talk. If your inner voice is always critical, it reinforces blocks. But when you speak to yourself with love, when you say, I'm worthy, I'm learning, I'm enough, you begin to shift from fear to openness. That shift invites love in, one moment at a time. Another important tool is emotional safety. Creating safety in your environment makes it easier to open up. This means choosing relationships where you're respected, where communication is honest, and where you don't have to hide. Love grows where safety is present. It can't thrive in fear. You may also notice physical signs of inner blocks, tightness in your chest, shallow breathing, or tension in your body. These signals are messages from your nervous system. When you feel unsafe emotionally, your body reacts. Learning to soothe your body through breath, movement, or rest helps release emotional tension. And yes, healing can be uncomfortable. You might feel old sadness, anger, or grief. But these feelings aren't setbacks, they're part of the process. Each time you face them with courage, you take back a piece of your heart. You make room for something new. Transformation, also means making different choices. If you usually run when things get hard, try staying present. If you usually silence your needs, try expressing one small truth. Change doesn't have to be dramatic. Small, consistent actions create powerful shifts over time. It's okay to seek support. Talking to a therapist, coach, or trusted friend can help you understand your blocks more deeply. You don't have to do this alone. Healing is not about isolation, it's about connection. And the more you allow support, the more you allow love. As you do this work, you'll notice a change in how you relate to others. You'll feel more confident expressing yourself. You'll attract people who respect your emotional truth. You'll stop chasing and start choosing, because now you're coming from a place of clarity, not fear. Another key piece is patience. Inner change doesn't happen overnight. But every time you show up with honesty and kindness, you're building a stronger foundation. Love that's real doesn't need rushing. It grows naturally in a space of authenticity and emotional presence. You'll also start to notice what no longer fits. People or patterns that once felt familiar may feel heavy now. That's a sign of growth. It means you're no longer operating from old pain. You're starting to live from love. And that love begins with you. It's normal to feel resistance along the way. Doubts will arise. Part of you may want to turn back. But remember, transformation isn't about never feeling fear. It's about not letting fear run the show. You have the strength to stay with yourself, even when it's hard. And that strength creates space for deeper love. With time, the inner blocks soften. They lose their grip. And in their place, you find clarity, peace, and connection. You no longer need to force love. It begins to flow toward you because now your heart is open. Now you believe you're worthy. So pause and ask yourself, what am I ready to release? What truth am I ready to speak? These questions open the door to a new chapter in love. One where you no longer hide, no longer shrink, and no longer settle. One where you show up fully and invite love that matches your wholeness. Your love story starts within. If you've made it to the end of this video, know that you've taken a powerful step toward attracting the kind of love that truly aligns with your heart. By exploring your inner compass, embracing your authentic self, and facing your emotional blocks with courage, you're already shifting your energy in a way that invites meaningful connection. Love isn't something you chase. It's something you allow when you begin to honor your truth. If this message resonated with you, write "I choose authentic love" in the comments to show you watched until the end. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell so you'll be the first to receive new content that supports your path to conscious, fulfilling relationships.